I am Matt Marrero. Who are you? Who's next to me?
Oh, Tristan Walter.
Tristan. And we're doing another episode of Keikaku Korner now. But this episode, as you guys can tell, low light. We got that
At
Halloween.
night.
Yeah, at night. We got that Halloween in July logo. Yeah, it's Halloween in July yet again.
It's Halloween in July.
Yes, I'm
I mean,
so
it is at
excited.
night, but it's Halloween in
It's
July. That's
it's
what.
always at night. Um, but I'm loving the energy. We're gonna have a lot of fun, weird energy this episode. It's gonna be good. Now Tristan, you're that Han Solo gift that I've been sending you of just.
God damn it.
All right,
Oh,
so Tristan, how have you been? We've been trying to do this for 2 weeks now, and you and I have been in utter peril. Yeah, right. You just put your thumb back up. I've had vertigo, and I took some medication, but then I got drowsy, despite the fact that the medication says non-drowsy, but I don't believe them now.
hmm.
It's been expired by a month. My family told me I wouldn't die. I mean, if I was dead right now, I think things would be better. So I'm pretty sure I'm still alive. Um,
I mean, it would fit the theme.
it would fit the theme. So anyway, so we're not necessarily talking about anything spooky, although there's one thing that's a little spooky, I guess, that we're talking about, but not really too much. But either way, Tristan, my question to you is, how you doing? I have vertigo. Do you? Do you have vertigo? You good? Everything good on your end, health wise?
Well, after swinging from skyscrapers, I no.
Oh, well, that does make me think about what we're going to be talking about momentarily as I'm trying to find it. Well, because we're talking about a lot of
Hey,
stuff. Well, we're talking about a lot of stuff this episode. Stories, wise. We're talking about some new shows that are appearing on Toonami. We're talking about a weird Naruto e-reader thing. Not so weird if you've been following the channel. We've talked about something like this before, but it's going to be very interesting once we get to that a little bit later. Some Akira news, which is something that, and it's not even about the live action movie, you would think, but it's actually not.
it's
Uh,
2019. We should all be dressing like Akira.
we really should be on a daily basis. I feel like we've kind of dropped the ball on that one.
And then given another 10, 20, 30 years, and we should be into like JoJo, like slash uh, oh, Mad Max territory. There we go.
Yes, thank you. No, you said JoJo. You're thinking of Fist of the North Star. Uh, well, wait, no, JoJo. JoJo's in the future now. I thought JoJo was still in the past to like present.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
okay, but let me see here. I gotta hide this one because we're not talking about it just yet. But what we talking about that in a few minutes. And also something Cuphead related, which is usually we would reserve stuff like that for Matt rants, but Tristan knows a bit more about Cuphead than I do. Not too much, but a bit more. So we wanted to speculate a little bit on it here and there. But anyway, so Tristan, you and I went to see a movie recently. You guys may have, if you're watching the podcast, you just saw the picture up there. Tristan, you and I recently went to see a movie. It was called Spider-Man: Far From Home.
We also saw it Far From Home.
We did. Well, no, not far from. Actually, kind of far from your home.
Not that far.
Farther than usual from your home.
Exactly. There
Farther,
we go.
farther from
Those
my home.
guys. Those guys. Farther than usual from home.
So anyway, uh, we're not going to spoil it because this is not like a full intense
No.
review that we usually do for the podcast. We're actually
Yeah.
gonna keep things pretty chill. But so that bit, I'm gonna make a joke. So when Spider-Man died and was replaced by Miles Morales, how crazy was that? No, but seriously,
And then Miles Morales rose up and called upon the spirits of the earth and used the spirit bomb to defeat
the Green Goblin,
Galactus.
right?
Yeah, yours.
Sure. No, but that would be a great way to bring in the Fantastic Four.
Right?
So, yeah, all jokes aside, though, without giving too much away, what were your thoughts on the movie? Because I could go on for this too long, and I don't want to spoil too much. But again, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I had a lot of fun with it. It felt like a nice piece to come out after everything we've seen with Endgame. Like
Yes.
this felt refreshing in a sense that it's still a fun movie, but it's not like, the world is ending.
Yeah, and it's funny because yes, Peter was abroad, so there is a lot of collateral damage abroad, but
Yeah.
still it's a bit different than like, cuz it's not even about the world, I would argue. With Thanos, it's also the universe as well because
Right,
of
yeah.
what he's done before getting to Earth and also
Yeah.
what he will do after. So, or what he could potentially do after. So, like, personally, I'm happy that they kind of things were a bit more relaxed.
Yeah.
Um,
And I
yeah,
enjoy focusing on Peter Parker as, a
yes.
character.
I still
Always
feel
love Peter.
weird. Yeah, I love him too. I still feel a little bit weird, even though I understand that Tony Stark is basically a father figure to him. I still feel odd that it seems like we've not erased, but we really don't talk about Uncle Ben much. I don't want him to be the focus of every little thing, but it does feel odd that, like, yes, I understand that the main focus is him. Is he going to, take over for Tony Stark? Is he going to fill in his shoes and things like that? What confuses me though is the movie went in a completely different direction. I would argue, where you would think that they would went with, you don't need to be the next Tony Stark. You need to be the next Spider-Man. But
Right.
then they have like certain scenes that are clearly copy paste in a good way that show that like he really is being like Tony, and he really is kind of becoming like like Tony in many ways, and it's a little odd, only simply due to the fact that you would think they would go with, no, get rid of all that tech. Why do you need to be the next Iron Man? You should be the next Spider-Man. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, you would think that, oh, but he needs the tech because he's going up against really crazy bad guys. And like, I feel like he should bust out those suits when it comes to a Thanos, when it comes to a Galactus.
Yeah.
But when he's doing his general shtick, like on the streets, or even a little
Right.
bit with Mysterio, unless he's getting thrown in front of a moving train, is that a joke? I don't know. Unless he's getting thrown in front of a moving train, he can survive it because he's Spider-Man. I mean, the things that he can do, like how strong he is, it's usually understated how powerful Spider-Man really
Yeah.
is. I think these movies have done a great job of showing you, like, no, like, he can hold up buildings. He can, I
Yeah.
mean, the second movie, actually, with Tobey Maguire, he stopped the train, and that was good.
Right.
That
Yeah.
was, yeah. So, but what I'm getting at, though, is it felt like instead of going for the usual, you don't have to be the next Iron Man.
Yeah. You
There
have to be
was
you.
I mean, I'm not saying that Hogan, like Happy, never actually said that, because I'm pretty sure he did, but in their actions it looked like he was becoming the next Iron Man, even though Spider-Man is supposed to be very tech, he's supposed to be very smart, but again, his suit is usually very plain unless it's like a dire situation. Usually it's just the normal suit or symbiote, but we're not at symbiotes just yet.
Tom Holland is Iron Spider.
Actually, I'm actually, he's a Night Monkey. Was that what it was? Was it Night Monkey, that joke?
Yes. Yes.
But no, I really like the comedy. I think that in some cases there was a bit too much, but I still thought it was funny. Like, it was too much, but it was very funny still, regardless. And I'm
Yeah.
happy that they took a look at the. Well, it's funny. I thought that the blip was their way of talking about the snap, but you and I missed something. The blip is the return.
Yeah.
The snap is what did it.
Right.
Yeah, so that should be confirmed by us, because like you and I were just talking about it normally, and the car, and I realized, wait, no, the blip is when they all returned. And again, I'm happy that they showed the kids kind of talking about that, because you and I were just sitting around, not on podcast, just like talking about this when we were going to go to it, and we thought, hey, like, what are they
Are we
gonna?
gonna acknowledge this?
Yeah, or how are we going to acknowledge this? So, like, the fact that they have the kids, I was wondering if they were going to do, which I think this would have been smart too, a Spider-Man movie before the Infinity War, and it was
Yeah.
Spider-Man cruising in on the bus, and that's why Infinity War, that's when he's like, oh snap, we got to go do all this, and then the snap happened.
Right.
That's what I was thinking of, like, cuz I thought, like, oh, if you do one after, I mean, of course the trailer showed that clearly it wasn't going to be before, but if you do one after, we know Spider-Man still isn't going to die anyway, so like, why wouldn't you do a fun little one before? But either way, I enjoyed it. I understand that he's in high school. Some people are a little upset with some of these movies, because they're kind of like, hey, like, well, no, because the thing is that even though this is not adult Spider-Man, this is teenage Spider-Man,
Yeah.
he really
I mean,
is.
that's how he got his start, though. Like,
Well, no, yes and no. So he was like late teenager, I think, in the initial comics. Like, I don't think he was 15 years old. I think he was like 17, and then he graduated sooner than later. And so now when we see Spider-Man within the last like 10 years, he's in his 20s.
yeah.
So anyone who I've seen talking about this over the last like 10, 20 years, they've known Spider-Man, who's been an adult. So this is kind of cribbing a bit more from Ultimate, but even then it seems like Like, I hear where some people are coming from, where I want to see a Peter who is confident in himself, still has problems. Like, I feel like there were some good parts of this movie in terms of Spider-Man and romance, where I feel like it actually should have been the exact opposite because it's Spider-Man.
Mm.
I'm happy with some of the stuff they did with MJ, because I think that, or I don't, because she's technically not Mary Jane, her name is Michelle, but she's still MJ regardless. So I love what Zendaya has done with the role, what they've done with the role. It's really cool, but it does seem like with her seemingly being into Spider-Man as well. I mean, not even Spider-Man, Peter Parker. I don't know. I feel like it's a bit too soon for that. I mean, we've talked about this. They have to kind of rush through this because you're not going to have Tom Holland and this entire universe on for like 9 movies. So you kind of have to speed things up. You can't do what the comics did for like fucking 40 years.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
he's been on record saying he'd love to keep doing Spider-Man, but like, yeah,
Well, 9 years. Let's say everyone comes out every 2 years, which it wouldn't. But even if it did, that would mean he'd be doing it for 18 years.
Yeah. No, I know. Like, you want to do other things as well too.
18 years. He's not a teenager. He's actually 21.
Right. Yeah.
So like at that point, he'd be in his late 30s if he stayed on for like an actual like 7 more movies.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm hoping the last one isn't his last. Although they're setting it up that I think something big might happen, and some people. It's funny. We were with a friend who was like, "But I like this Spider-Man," and I'm like, "All right, then visit his grave." It seems like they're setting. You okay, Tristan?
Oh God, man!
Look, I'm just saying.
Like I just got hit by a train.
Look, man. I'm just saying. It seems like stuff is not going to go too well for Spider-Man, and I think the third one. And look, we don't know what's coming yet, but I think with all the Spider-Man is basically the bad luck superhero. I would argue.
Spider-Man 3 totally fucked.
From home. From home. No, but seriously though.
Yeah.
Spider-Man's the bad luck superhero. I feel like part of his powers are bad luck. So
yeah, I've basically been the butt of that joke before.
Aw, dude.
Like in a group of friends, like, who is everybody gonna be the hero? Like, I got a few that looked at me and like, you'd be Spider-Man. I'm like, it's not for the reason I want it to be, is it?
It's because I'm from New York. Sure, buddy.
Sure, buddy.
Step in front of the train tracks.
Dude, oh.
So, there were 2 after credit scenes. Again, we're not going to spoil it, so we don't want to talk too in depth. But I will say that you have to stay for both. So if you haven't seen it yet, sit down for both. Yep. One of them is actually something that makes a lot of sense in the context of the movie, and it sets up for Captain Marvel. Future Captain Marvel installments, or future Captain Marvel cameos, to be fair, if not installments. And the other one sets up Spider-Man 3 in a way that, again, it really shows how much bad luck Peter Parker has, because it seems like he's getting the girl, it seems like he has all his friends, it seems like he gets to be, the big hero and everyone loves him, but something happens. So, either way, Tristan, you said you enjoyed it. Without spoiling, what do you think was your favorite part? Because I have mine in my head.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I can really go into mine without spoiling.
Okay, because mine there was a horror sequence that I think was the most horrific thing that we've seen in a Marvel movie yet, at least Marvel MCU canon, and it was gorgeous. I loved it the way it was done. So that was my favorite part. It reminded me a lot of Batman Arkham Asylum with Scarecrow, or just any comic with a Scarecrow, really. It was done so well. Yeah. So what is your second favorite scene? I liked what was going on, funnily enough, with Aunt May and with Happy.
Right, yeah.
Those scenes were always fun. I'm taking care of your aunt. Giving side eye.
You know what, Happy? When I get back, we have to have serious talk about you and my aunt. What?
But he says that while jumping off a jet. Talking about my aunt!
Yeah.
All right. But, so would you recommend?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I think it's definitely worth it to go see it.
I mean, try to see the other 22 movies first. But, like, no, but I'll say this.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I feel like if you like Spider-Man, I feel like you'll like this.
I think people would. Again, like, it depends on what kind of Spider-Man you're looking for. Like,
Yeah,
I've seen a little bit here and there of Ultimate, so I know, even though there isn't really a Tony Stark component there, still it's a younger, even more unsure Spider-Man than usual. So it's a bit different than a Spider-Man who's in college, who is still unsure of himself, but like is sure of what he wants to be and do. It's like that's the issue with Peter being in high school. Like, you have to balance like trying to make him somewhat normal and relatable, but also he's a superhero, so he's larger than life. It's a very, hard balancing act, I would argue, but I think this movie did a good job in doing it. So either way, before we move on to our next topic, tell us what you think down in the comment section down below, either in the chat if you're watching this live through our Twitch or on our YouTube channel, Those Guys on the Radio.